I did not know what you were going to say, but that was much funnier than I was expecting.
Thank you. The furnaces, it was something like that. We briefly went to the furnaces. It was very hot there, and there was a giant river of molten metal, I'm assuming. Some incredibly dangerous and hot thing. Anyway, we felt, let's not go there. This is bad.
Yeah, you did find
No.
a bucket and a mop.
We, as much as I wish, you said we did not find a mop.
I may have
You
spoiled
took-
some of that surprise.
I found a bucket, but I did not find a mop.
Yep, my
I
bad.
found where a mop would have been.
Sure.
All right, I'll have to go back there and see if I can trap down that mop. And they lead us to a big glass sphere containing a giant magical snake. Riergan, with her divine connections, is like, oh, this thing is divine in some way. We can't be having them worship this. That's a bad idea. The two of us speaking in common, which none of them seemed to understand, but then one kind of gave us a weird look and ran off to another goblin. So,
Mm-hmm.
shoulda taught Riergan how to speak Elven. Ooh,
Yeah.
have us pick up deep speech for situations like this.
And to be clear, she specifically said you can't let the kobolds worship this.
Can't let the kobolds worship
She's
it.
afraid of what their worship to this thing would do, and vice versa. But she specifically mentioned that the kobolds could learn a lot from this snake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, kobolds are they usually worship dragons. If my koboldology is up to snuff, which it's not, they usually worship dragons and speak Draconic and do that sort of jam. And I want to say sometimes like there's like a weird power loop. Kobolds are weird.
Kobolds are weird.
And I'm not gonna question it. Anyway, we're kind of discussing this, trying to figure out what to do because at the moment, and Jax would probably express this, I don't think we're strong enough to fight a giant magical snake.
Maybe.
We need to like, especially. And even if that's on the fence, we're definitely not strong enough to fight it. And then a horde of angry goblins and kobolds that are mad at us for killing their snake.
Right.
We need some time to decide. That this is a big decision, deciding if it's a ground snake or a water snake.
Right, and then
we have to
both
get it
sides
right.
cheer, right? So the kobolds seem to think it's a water, and the goblins seem to think it's a ground.
Yeah, and we don't want to get it wrong.
Yeah.
Like, and that's going to be my main point of emphasis. We need time so we can make the right decision.
Okay.
And we have to make, and it's like, I'll kind of do like a little, we have to make the right decision.
Yeah, you look at one each. Go ahead and roll me a persuasion. You're going to get advantage with the goblins, and you're rolling it normal right now against the kobolds.
All right. So first for the goblins is either a 12. Yeah, so a 12 for the goblins.
Okay.
And a 5 for the kobolds. Uh-oh.
Nice. Okay.
To kind of start walking around the area.
The kobolds are kind of scowling at you and everything, and a few of them have retreated and kind of moved back to their area. So the goblins seem to live in some tents on one side of the snakeway, and the kobolds seem to live up on platforms and the tree stands that you saw as you were coming down. This would be the part of the game where like you're out of the cutscene and all of the different factions are like waiting for you to come over so you can hear their spiel. So Yerk comes up to you as one of the fatter goblins, right? So clearly the one in charge, and he tries to put an arm around you, and he can't reach you because you're too tall. So he settles for putting an arm around Riergan, and she glares at him, and he just decides discretion's the better part of valor, and he's like, "Come here."
Sure thing.
Yeah. So he'll walk you a little ways towards he goes southward down along the wall where the goblin tents are, but they're on the other side of this wall. And so into the corner, so you can like just barely see the snake. And he goes,
Interesting.
I need your help.
Go on.
Goes, help me kill those kobolds.
Oh. Is this over the snake, or is there more going on here?
Mostly the snake.
Really? Okay. Yeah. That's interesting.
If you do, I'll make sure you get their tribe's greatest treasure.
The chuckle after, what is their tribe's greatest treasure?
But they're from the water. It is eyes of the merfolk.
Ooh. That does sound fancy.
Yeah, you think about it. Cast your votes. Cast your votes to the ground.
Okay.
Help me defeat them.
I see what you're talking about. Here. Well, I'm going to go learn a little bit more about your enemy here. See what they're up to, you know.
Remember, the great treasure. Eyes of the merman.
Mm-hmm. Eyes of the merfolk.
Eyes of the fish.
You... Uh-huh. I'll go...
Great treasure.
Uh-huh. That is very persuasive. Here, I need to go learn more about this potential enemy of mine.
Okay.
But I'll keep you in mind, Yerk.
Yeah, and he gives you a traditional goblin farewell, which I think is probably something involving snot.
Yeah, I was gonna imagine it's just them yelling for you to piss off or something, but that feels pretty goblin traditional.
Yeah. Okay, so you find your way over to the kobolds.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're a little more standoffish with you. They were like, "Do you bring your Riergan?"
Oh, Riergan could be a point of contention. Riergan, stay around here for a moment and see what you can learn from the goblins. See if they have any.
She points at one over in the corner. So a lot of the goblins are like gray to green skinned, and one of them is mostly yellow with patches of white. And she's like, so far I've learned that one's called the Curdled one. I don't really want to know anything more about them.
Yeah, but what if it's because he's magic or something?
What are you insinuating?
That he turned into half milk, half goblin a very long time ago.
I did not know what you were going to say, but that was much funnier than I was expecting.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm actually going to cut it there. I wanted to have both of their pitches, but that's a way funnier end.